tell everybody how grateful and thankful tonight I am for every person who came. It just means the world to us because, everybody knows the bad weather, and everybody was willing to brave the snow, and we just can't say how much we're grateful for that, and we're grateful, and you all mean so much to us, and we have such a wonderful family here. And all I have in my heart tonight is gratefulness. Just grateful because I know that we serve a God that's real and that He can really change your heart. Whenever you cry out to Him and you mean it. I know my family, my dad was in the military, and we traveled around countries and we looked for God. And when I was 7.5 years old, my parents knew they needed somewhere to find God for our family and for their lives. And when we came here, my grandmother was here, Grandma Cora. God saved our lives. And God changed our family. And I'm so grateful for my parents. I'm so grateful for the decisions that they've made time and time again that have saved my life. And they've stood there and they've held their ground when I needed somebody to be there for me. And they've been there. And I'm so grateful. And I remember a time in my life when, I'm of a family, there's 7 boys and 2 girls. We're the largest family that I know of, and probably several hundred miles. And I was a handful. And when I started becoming a teenager, and my mom did all she could do, my dad did all he could do, and I needed somebody, to give me some one-on-one attention, and that was Mark Doyle. And I'm just so grateful. For the rest of my life, Mark. Suzanne, they were like second parents to me. And I'm so grateful for y'all. I'm so grateful for Kent and Brooke, who have been my aunt and uncle, and they've also, in so many things spiritually, they've been my parents too. And I love y'all with my whole heart. I'm so grateful. I can't even say. I'm so grateful. And I know that there was a time in my life when I had my plans and I thought I knew what I wanted to do. I thought I knew what serving God was because I had been raised in church my whole life. And I knew all about the Bible. I knew scripture verses. And I thought I knew the right thing to do. And because of that pride of thinking I knew, I made my own plans. And I didn't ask God what God wanted His will was for my life. And I constantly went after what I wanted and what I thought was best. And there came a time in my life when I know I surrendered my heart to Jesus. And I put all that aside. And I stopped everything I was doing to cry out to Jesus for His will in my life. And I cried out and I read my Bible, and it was like it came alive to me for the first time. And now that place of that heart's cry that was there, that's when God put Micah in my life. And she's been the biggest blessing that God could have ever given me. And we started in 2nd grade when I came here, and Robin was my teacher all the way through 8th grade, 7th or 8th grade. And we went through high school together. We graduated together. Now we're in college together, and we're going to spend the rest of our lives together. And I'm just so grateful. And what God has planned for your life is so much better than anything you could try to make up, any plan you could choose. But when you truly cry out to God, He answers your cry. And He's there, and that's what He's done in my life. And He'll do that for anybody who cries out to Him. I love everybody.
I too am so thankful that everybody came tonight. And I'm just so grateful for the family God's given me. My grandfather, so many years ago, was wanting to go to a Bible school, and God miraculously brought him here when we had the Bible school. And from there, my parents came down for a seminar. And on the way home, they turned to each other and said, we're moving there. And I'm just so grateful. Thank you so much for coming here. And I mean, our family is so close. I'm just so grateful for what God's given me. And as a child, I did everything perfect on the outside. I looked fine, but I didn't know God personally for myself. And I mean, I'd come to church, and I loved coming to church, but I didn't have a personal relationship with Jesus where he lived inside of me and he spoke to me. I just didn't have it. And at the age of 12, I just started every night. I would just, when I lay down at night, I would just cry out to God, and I would weep and weep and weep. And I mean, nobody told me to do that, but I knew God was drawing me at that time. And from then, I mean, my life changed. I mean, I would read the Bible, like Benjamin said, when you're born again, you'll read the Bible and it means something to you. And I started loving everybody, and I would just cry out every day, Jesus, your will for my life. And there'd be times where I'd go to my parents and say, I don't know who I'm supposed to marry. I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And they would always say, you go ask God, and he'll tell you. And every single time I did, God would always speak to me. And that's when God spoke to me that Benjamin and I were supposed to be friends and then to get married. And I mean, it's just amazing. I mean, we didn't even, it's like, if you seek God, everything works out perfect. More than you could ever plan. I mean, we weren't even talking a lot. And God spoke to each one of us what we were supposed to do in school. And then it's like, then we started becoming close, and it was like, we want to do the same thing. And I mean, that's only God, because we didn't work it, we didn't plan it, but God did it. And like he said, I mean, God will do that for anybody if you seek him. And I mean, God's given me such a big family at work. Josh and Andrea have been like my family. I love y'all so much. And I know I'm called in the ministry. As Andrea and I always tell people, we're not just there to help them at work, but we're there to help them make it to heaven. And I love y'all very much.